Monday, June 9th, 2025. Um, and Trump sent the military into LA for no good reason over the weekend. And the ladies of The View had a rousing discussion of it this morning. But um, it's a little troubling when anyone classifies this whole thing as Trump providing a distraction to the bad week that he had last week, because I think that really diminishes um, the importance of what he's doing. He's sending the military against our own citizens who are protecting people who are being snatched away. And then this whole idea, and I get the point that they're making about, be peaceful, don't feed into his narrative that it's that there's that he's sending in the military because it's a violent protest. There was no reason for the National Guard or for any outside uh, agency or law enforcement of any kind to be present in LA because by and large things were very peaceful, and he just created manufactured a situation that didn't exist. Um, and by sending in the National Guard and he turned it into a violent situation. And I get the point of saying, um, you know, you're defeating the purpose of the point you're trying to make by lighting things on fire, and don't throw stuff at the cops and whatever. But at the same time, like, how are people supposed to fight back? These are people, masked, armed idiots. It's the fucking Gestapo. ICE is the Gestapo. They are just disappearing people. So I don't know how do you expect people to fight back? I love the footage of they throw tear gas into the protesters, and the protesters send it right back. Um, and there's a video of one guy just kind of shaming them. They're all standing there with their stupid fatigues and their military guns and their masks over their faces, um, and just yelling at them about how they're on the wrong side of history. They should be standing with the protesters, saving these people from what's happening to them, and uh, and really going after, like, how do you sleep at night? What do you tell your kids? Is this really what you want to be known for doing? Really giving it to him. It's delightfully impassioned speech he's giving to him, and that I find very inspiring. And they need to be told that more often, and it needs to be said more often. They are the fucking SS. Like, it's disgusting. And um, when I was talking about the sort of downplaying the importance of what he's done by bringing in the military, is like, he's been chomping at the bit for the opportunity to shut every protest down, um, to claim insurrection act, put us in martial law. Like, he wants a controlled citizenry, like North Korea. That's why he's having a stupid fucking parade to himself. And I do fear, because there's this whole No Kings movement going on, as sort of a counter to his Flag Day birthday parade. And I feel like if they get more attention and it gets uh, you know it dwarfs his ego event, that he'll just be like, nope, more protesting. And he'll that's that's what he wants. He wants a controlled citizenry that he can do whatever he wants with, it, just take all the money. So I just feel like um it's too diminishing to just say, oh, this is just a distraction technique, because we haven't stopped talking about the breakup with Elon anyway. um, but so it was just I just find that whole thing interesting. And Sonny starts by taking, like, let's look at this long view. But in the meantime, like, there's a very immediate situation going on where these masked, armed militia, and without identification, without being in a marked vehicle, without any proof of that they are working on behalf of the government, are literally just going in places and stealing people. And you're not finding violent criminals by, you know, going to where they work or going to the goddamn immigration office while they're checking in. They're doing everything they're supposed to do. And this whole idea, they brought up something really interesting, that people think that just by being undocumented you're doing something illegal. But that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing where people are calling them illegals. People are not illegal. You can't call people illegals. It's not illegal to be a person, and it's not illegal to exist. Um, so that whole thing, that it's just such blatant fucking excuse for racism. It's and I don't. And people are just mean. I just don't get it. Um, and then the other story that the View is not going to talk about um, is over the weekend. Terry Moran, I think he's the White House correspondent, um, put out a tweet basically talking about Stephen Miller and what a vile human being he is, and that it's hate that fuels him. His hatred is sort of his spirituality, and comparing it to Trump, and who's a world class hater, but his hatred comes from wanting to feel glorified, and like so somehow if you know it's feeding his ego. That's his spirituality, but for Stephen Miller, it literally the hatred is the essence of it. Um, and ABC News suspended him for it, which I think fucking sucks because the White House had a cow about it. And Jimmy Kimmel does far worse things on a nightly basis on his show. Terry Moran was just speaking the truth, making an observation about someone's behavior, and it's really disappointing. So again, I'm gonna have to boycott my goddamn David Muir, my beloved David Muir. Although I shouldn't even be watching The View because technically that's ABC News too. So it's this all this capitulation to the king is just so uh, just disturbing, and I don't know. The longer we're in this, the harder I see a way for us to get out of it. Um, because I mean, midterms aren't going to save us. They're too far away, and I don't think those are going to be free and fair elections, even if we get to have them at all. So I don't know. I don't know where we go from here, but Whoopi says every day it's up to us. Okay, but it's up to us. But again, you're telling us don't fight back against the people that are stealing people off the street. So what are we supposed to do? What like what do you want us to do?